is it, just we'll walk you through the process and then speak into details about each of them. So GS basically has a pre-screening test at first, and this test is generally divided into 3 sections. First is computer science, second is maths, and this is for the first time this year they also introduced the data science sections. And the entire test was divided into 2 sections. One was subjective and another was objective. The subjective objective was for 1.5 hours, subjective was for 1.5 hours. In objective you had 10 questions in each of the section, and subjective you had about 3 questions in each section, am I right? Yeah. So how they generally do about the shortlisting process is, if you attain some minimum threshold in the objective session, then only they will evaluate your subjective, and a cumulative score among each of them will get you a shortlist for the interview, right? If you want to start with each session.
And it's also very important to do well on the test, because finally if you see the people who they have hired, so most of them would have been in the top 20, so it's really important to do well on the test. So we'll go into detail on what each section contains. So the first section is computer science, where basically it will be graph theory and algorithms. So if you have a mathematics or an operations research minor, it will be useful. Or for algorithms, any basic course in data structures and algorithms should be fine. The second section will be mathematics, so it will be like JEE syllabus. So and 70% of it will be probability. And the rest will be number theory, linear algebra, and other stuff. The last section is data analytics. I did Ravindran sir's machine learning course in CS department, so that was very useful. I don't know how good the machine learning course on Coursera is, so I can't comment on that. So and the second section is subjective. This part will be very difficult, so basically I couldn't understand the questions that they were asking in computer science, so I just left that part. So again, in the second section, you have to do well on mathematics. So mathematics, it will be like, it was 50% probability and 50% linear algebra. So you can improve your score by doing well in mathematics. And the third section will be data analytics, and again it will have both theory and as well as problems. So then
I'll just check out, like, detail a little more about the test. So the type of probability question they are generally looking into is, in our test at least 5 questions are there on recursive expectation problems. So questions like, if I'm tossing a coin, then what are the expected number of outcomes so that I get an HHT sequence or a THH sequence. There was, remember that car wala question?
So one simple question that you can expect is, both in the test as well as the interview is, you're tossing a fair coin, find the expected number of tosses after which you will get the 2 consecutive hits. So you can just try it out, and if you don't get it, you can just Google it.
Basically, you have to model it as a Markov process and try to do it. So that's it. And in linear algebra, what I have seen, and based on my feedback from my seniors, they focus more on properties of eigenvalues and eigenvectors. Like the trace of the matrix is the sum of eigenvalues, and the determinant of a matrix is a product of eigenvalues. And questions on those lines are generally asked in the linear algebra sections. Apart from that, in math, there were some modeling questions where you had to construct a differential equation and solve it, but it was just a first order differential equation.
No, that was actually just geometry progression.
Okay, fine. I solved it. Okay. Fine. And in the data science part, what I thought was Ravindran sir's course is the thing to do, because there were questions that were asked in his quiz too, which I couldn't solve there, but I saw the solutions and solved it in the GS test. So that is a course to do if you guys would like to crack GS. So that's about for the test. Yeah. Huh? Interviews? Okay.
Ravindran sir.
Ravindran sir. CS course, Introduction to Machine Learning, CS 5011. Yeah. So that was the course to do. And coming to interviews, so how GS does the shortlisting process is based on how you perform in the test. You are shortlisted for specific teams. So if you are done good in data science or math, then you will be shortlisted for teams which work on that. If you are good in algos or data structures, you will be shortlisted for those respective teams. So I had only 3 interviews for my entire process, and the questions that I was primarily grilled on were probability statistics, some algo data structure questions, and mainly it was machine learning. So probability statistics questions, the ones that were asked to me were like normally on those like recursive expectation, like building that Markov chain, or one question was like if you're given a quadratic equation x square plus 2bx plus c, where b and c are uniform random variables, what is the probability that the equation will have real roots? Okay. And then, okay, fine. So you don't need to get psyched by these questions, but those are the level they demand from you. And in machine learning, it was again based on whatever Ravindran sir had taught in the class, like how to deal with outliers, which algorithm is will do well with outliers, which will not do well with outliers, and things like that. But finally, the main game is you do Ravindran sir's course and you will third the interview as well as the test.
I didn't get any questions on machine learning in the interview, so.
That's what I told, right? Based on how you perform on the test, you get shortlisted in the teams that work.
Yeah, so 4 teams came for interviews this time: the finance, investment management, securities, and strats. So I think non-CS, non-elect students have a fair chance of getting in finance, investment management, and securities. Org strats, you need a bit of computer science. So they basically in that interview they asked me like computer science concepts. So one of the questions was what's the difference between runtime polymorphism and compile time polymorphism. So I basically had no idea. So other than that, all the interviews were fine. So compared to the test, the interviews will be very it will be very easy.
Compared to subjective questions, the interviews are really easy. Because you have to solve it like 5 to 10 minutes, while for subjective you have like 1.5 hours to solve it.
So and one more thing is you don't have to get the solution, they'll just see how well you think. So like when you are solving the problem, just tell them what you're trying to do. So even if you go in a completely wrong direction, they'll actually
like as consulting people who would have shared with you, like think through them rather than just covering on your own. Tell them what steps are you doing, how are you trying to model the problem, like the general interview for this.
Yeah, and one more thing is you need to be careful for Goldman Sachs interviews because they'll try to keep people over there. So if you have shortlist for other interviews, it's better like whenever you have time, you go for other interviews.
Yeah, I didn't face that problem because I had only one shot.
So
basically
I couldn't go for any other interview. So I had a shortlist from BCG, Octus and Roland Berger. I couldn't go for any other interviews because of this.
So try to manage your time, but that's only if you have shortlist.
So any questions? So like for my preparation, so I didn't use any material, so I did whatever preparation from my courses. So I had a good background in mathematics, so that's it. Did you?
Like for probability, there is introduction to probability by Sheldon and Ross. So chapter 2 and chapter 3 are basically the type of problems that GS asks.
Yeah, and that's also another good book in probability. There's a book called 40 Problems in Probability. So you can use it. Anything else? Yeah. You don't need any finance fund days for this. For GS you don't.
Finance fund days.
Why did you choose finance?
No, it's basically I just got it. So I didn't have an opportunity.
Placement is a random process, so whatever you get.